Hey guys, today we are working with adjectives. This might be one of those things you kind of remember from grade school, but you're not sure what it means, but that's okay. Today you're going to relearn what adjectives are. Okay? First of all, go ahead and put adjectives in your notes. Adjectives are used to describe a noun or a pronoun. So when I say describe, it kind of modifies, it kind of slightly changes our noun, just a little bit. Modify or change slightly. So for our image for these, like our hand or our paperclip, we need to have kind of that mental image of what an adjective is. So for this, you actually get options. I have 3 of them for you. The first one is a telescope. If you think of a telescope, you see something in the distance and you kind of zoom in on it and get a better picture of it. So a telescope. Or you can do a camera. A camera, you see something and you can adjust the focus, you can adjust the zoom to really get your picture into focus so that you can see it better and understand it better. Or you can use a magnifying glass as the third option. A magnifying glass, something is small, but you make it bigger, you expand it a little bit. So you have something, but you expand your idea. You kind of focus in on it again. Okay, so those are your 3 options. So I'm just going to go with a camera because I like the thought of really focusing or zooming in on what I'm talking about. So just this simple little camera. Whatever you want your image to be, go ahead and do that. So we're modifying nouns here. If you're thinking adverbs, those modify verbs, and we'll get to those next. But for today, we're focusing on nouns and adjectives. So our first adjective that we're going to describe is going to be a judge. What are some words you can think of that are school appropriate that you can use to explain or describe a judge? When I think of a judge, I think of someone that's probably very serious. Maybe he's a very strict judge, or she. You girls can grow up and be judges too. Maybe they're old. They might be of the elderly crowd. So an old judge. Our words are not changing judge. A judge is still a judge. That noun has not changed. But each of our adjectives slightly modifies or slightly changes that mental picture we have in our mind of what a judge is or what they look like. Okay? Our next noun that we're going to talk about, let's describe eyes. There's all sorts of different kinds of eyes. So right away you might think of colors. We have, of course, the green, hazel, brown, blue, whatever other colors there might be. I'm sorry if I left you out. So my eyes are blue, so I'm just going to put blue. You can put any color you want to or all of them. Blue eyes. Maybe I'm being goofy and I have cross eyes. Maybe they're beautiful. Maybe somebody has beautiful eyes and you just love them. So as you can see, there are all sorts of different descriptive words that we can use to describe any noun that we think of. And any of these modifying adjectives answer one of 4 questions. Okay? Our first question is going to be what kind? Modifying our nouns by answering one of 4 questions. First question being what kind? So maybe I'm talking about a house. What kind of house do you live in? Some of you might live in, let's say, a brick house. Maybe you want to talk about the color of house you live in. Blue. My house is blue. Maybe you have a 2-story house. Okay, and the list can continue. Let's discuss paper. What if paper was our noun? What are some different adjectives we can use to describe paper by answering the question, what kind? What kind of paper are we working with? Well, maybe we're talking about just plain old white paper. Or perhaps notebook paper. If you like to scrapbook, maybe you use textured paper. Okay. That's going to be it for this video. Check out the second one for the second half.